Hi friends, I'm Elle from Elle Hattie Journals and thank you for checking out my February plan with me. I'm really excited to do this plan with me. It's been one that I've been wanting to do for ages and it's going to be using a new medium that I haven't really used in my bullet journal before, which is gouache. I'm really excited to try this out. I haven't used gouache before at all in my journal, so I'll be really curious to see how well my bullet journal holds up with the water content. I'm expecting it to do okay because I've used watercolour in my journal before and that seems to have been okay. So fingers crossed this all goes well. So thank you for checking this out and I hope you enjoy. I decided to go for something a bit different from my February theme. In the past, I have tried to kind of link the themes I'm doing to when we are in the year. So doing wintry themes in winter, kind of more summery themes in summer. And I've decided this year I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to have as much fun as I can with my bullet journal. So my theme for this month is oranges, which I know are not readily in abundance in February, but I wanted to do it and I feel like it's going to be a really fun theme. So I wanted to make a spread that is a orangery that we're looking at through the panes of a window. So as you can see, I've just quickly gone in and created the window panes that I want to be looking through. And I'm just adding the word February 2022 down the side. I'm thinking to cut out each of those little white panes and replace them with a sheet of acetate so it has that kind of shiny effect that you get when you look at windows while also being completely see-through. I also kind of got a lot of inspiration from the idea of having greenhouses. I've always loved greenhouses. I really desperately want one of my own, but I live in a flat, so that's not really quite happening at the moment, but at some point that's the dream. So I thought this could be sort of a mixture of a greenhousey theme and kind of like an orangery, those sort of big, beautiful glass rooms that are full of those wonderful fruits. So as you can see, I am just cutting out those panes, those panels, so you'll be able to see through to the next section. I'm using a steel ruler and a craft knife for this because I didn't think my scissors would be up to it, so I thought a scalpel would probably be the easiest option. Of course, you could do this with scissors if you don't have a craft knife or a scalpel to hand. I know quite a few bullet journalists have done these kind of layered front covers and I've just been so inspired by it that I thought I had to give it a go. So as you can see, I've just removed those final panes and then I actually went onto another page and removed those panes again, but I lost the footage for that, so my bad. You can see we've just jumped there now to moving on to sticking the acetate in. I debated using like a kind of a slightly foggy translucent acetate, but in the end I just went for this completely clear sheet. And then as you can see, I'm using some double-sided sticky tape just to stick those two pieces together. After all that prep, I can finally get on with the part that I'm the most excited about, which is my painting. I'm using these very basic gouache paints. They are from my local craft store, so they are very much a basic range, but I didn't want to invest in really high-end gouache until I knew whether I was going to like them as a paint. I've usually used acrylic. I'm not big into more water-based paints, mostly because I'm not very good at painting with them. So I've always really gone for acrylic because that's where my comfort level is, but I thought gouache would be a really good halfway house between acrylic and watercolour because you can really change the consistency depending on the amount of water that you add. I was really pleasantly surprised actually. I had the best time painting this. So as you can see, I'm going in and just adding the branches. I actually started off just very briefly sketching out where I wanted the oranges to go, just so I could have an idea of the kind of space I was going to be working with. And then I went in with this lovely kind of sagey green colour for the leaves. I have to say I'm slightly obsessed with gouache now. I can't believe I have not used it before in any kind of great depth because, oh my goodness, I had the best time painting this. The paint flowed really beautifully, but you still had quite a lot of texture there, which is one of the things I struggle with the most with watercolour, that lack of texture, because I'm not very good with watercolours, as I've said. So I will definitely be using gouache again. In fact, I'm very tempted to do a bigger version of this painting, probably A3, for a bit of wall decor. So let me know if you'd be interested in seeing a video of me painting that either in real time while I do a Q&A or something like that. So I'm just finishing up the leaves, and now I'm going in with the highlight on the oranges. This is a really gorgeous lemon yellow kind of colour that I wanted to just pop a little highlight in on the oranges, and then I used some crimson and some yellow ochre and a lot of white to create the rest of the oranges, painting round in a circular motion to try and make them look three-dimensional. I spent quite a lot of time debating what background to put in, whether I was going to have layers of oranges behind them, but then I decided to go for this much more graphic way of presenting them. And I also debated going for sort of a light minty green background or a light blue, but I'm actually really happy that I went for this very light rose colour. I think it adds some nice background contrast to the oranges, and it kind of has that look of a warm sort of sunlit morning that you get through the windows in a very kind of abstracted way. But I mean, I'm really happy with how this turned out. I hope you enjoyed it. And my little window is complete, and I am really happy with this. I really like how the light catches it and makes it look like it has some reflections. Just adding a really simple little quote on the other side. I didn't want it to be complicated because obviously the right hand page had a lot going on, so kept it really simple. And there we go, that is my front page completely finished. Alright, getting started with my calendar spread now. I'm actually doing slightly different fonts than I would normally do. Normally I love doing a very consistent cursive, but I thought I would mix it up this time by actually mixing it up and having loads of different types of font. So you can see I've got kind of like a bubble writing, a simple cursive, I'm using my stamps, and then also kind of like a serif font with a typewriter sort of style to it. And then I'm just sketching out the individual boxes for my calendar for the month of February. So, a bit of a departure from usual now. As some of you who are regulars on my channel will know, that I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with habit trackers and mood trackers. I always feel very guilty that I don't complete them, particularly accurately or efficiently throughout the month, and I often end up kind of hastily putting in several days at once, and I find that's really not efficient for me or doesn't work well for me. But I thought this month I would go back in a very small way, just begin to reintroduce the trackers, just to see how I've changed and whether or not they would work for me. Plus, I thought it would be really cute to have each day as a segment of an orange, which is what I'm doing at the moment here. I thought it would be really sweet to be able to colour them all in different shades of oranges. For those of you who have been here a while, you know I always go on about my autumnal colours, my reds, my yellows, my golds, my oranges. I am just obsessed. They are my favourite colours. So I really wanted to just have a bit of colour on this page throughout the month. Whether I'll stick to it, I don't know. I'm not going to punish myself though if I don't. I just want to use this as a bit of an opportunity to see whether it's helpful for me in this new year. Okay guys, I am obsessed with this weekly setup that I'm about to show you. I normally do very basic weeklies just with spaces for lots of lists, lots of notes, because I always have so many tasks going on, but they don't necessarily equate to specific days, so I normally just have a bit of a dumping site for everything that needs to go on. But I thought this month I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to use a series of Dutch doors and have all of my weeklies in one go on a set of Dutch doors. So I'm starting, as you can see here, by setting up like a little heading, and across there I'm going to have a space for events, and then Monday through Sunday. And then across the next 4 pages I'm going to have flaps for each of the weeks in February. When I'm cutting out the Dutch door, I'm making sure to leave a little tab on the right hand side so I can jot down which week it is, so I can just flick to the right page really quickly and efficiently. Now I'm just adding in some final little doodles of those slices of orange, and I can't tell you how much I love this spread. I'm so excited to see how it works for me, whether it's an effective use of the space and whether it helps me be really productive and organized. I really hope it does because I loved setting this up. It was so much fun. So yeah, top tip, if weeklies don't really work for you in the traditional way, like they don't for me, try something like this, see if it works for you. I think that's the most wonderful thing about bullet journaling, is that it has to be your interpretation of bullet journaling. It can be as creative as you want it to be, it can be as minimal as you want it to be. You can change it up and just change what you want from it, and I really love that about bullet journaling and this community that we exist in. So here it is, here is my final flip through. I'm obsessed, guys. I love this theme so much. I really hope you have enjoyed seeing how I set up my February plan with me, and I really hope you liked what I created. If you did, feel free to leave a like, maybe think about subscribing or checking out a few of my other videos. But I hope you have a really wonderful February 2022. Thank you so much. You're the best. All right. Bye, everyone.